Do you believe that you are loved? And when I say loved, I mean unconditionally loved. And I don't just mean like mentally assenting to the fact that you're loved. Like, do you really believe that you are unconditionally loved, but not just loved, you're loved by God? Well, if you do believe you're loved, my next question is, how do you know that you believe that you are loved? I know this is getting complex. Well, let me tell you a little bit of story about myself. I grew up in a family where my experience of my parents wasn't particularly one where I would say that I was loved. But I didn't know that I wasn't being loved because that's all the experience I had. That's how life was for me, was being unloved. In my experience growing up, what I realized is that I had to work to be loved. I had to always do something to be loved. I had to perform, right? And so that type of mentality was developed through the experiences that I've had from my father, my mother, and just my experience of the world around me. And so because of my hunger and my deep thirst to be unconditionally loved, I turn to sex, I turn to relationships, I turn to friends, I turn to everything that one could possibly seek out love for, and I didn't find it there. However, through a series of interesting and events that occurred in my life, Jesus appeared to me in so many different ways and walked me through a 6-year journey, convincing me of his love for me. And I think that was the hardest thing for me to do, is to accept that God unconditionally loves me. And yeah, that was a very long journey. I think the dangerous thing about not accepting the unconditional love for God is that you will not obey him. Like I learned in my relationship is that if I don't accept God's love for me, then I'm not going to obey him, right? And if I don't obey God, one of the things that God wants mankind to do is to accept the free gift of salvation through Jesus Christ, which is technically an impossible thing to do if you don't have a point of reference for a free gift of being unconditionally loved. And so the danger of not accepting the unconditional love of God is that we can spread that unbelief to other people. We multiply that unbelief, and it's called sin. When we don't believe that God unconditionally loves us, that's sin. And God